everybody here today, we would like to congratulate Mr. and Mrs. Jones on their marriage.
It's been a wonderful day
So far.
We'd also like to echo what Adam said about how beautiful Sammy and the bridesmaids look.
I'm sure you'll all agree with us. And finally, we would like to congratulate Adam on his speech.
It appears that you are familiar with Hitch.com, Adam. So,
Now, hopefully, Adam, right now you're feeling a little bit more nervous than when you stepped up to do your speech. But Matt, before we start, Sammy had a quick word with me before we set off with the speech. And she said there's a few things that we can't mention today. So just to check, we cannot include drunken stories. Anything to do with nudity. That's public and private. We cannot include any stories about ex-girlfriends. There's also that time we went out in Dromfield and that thing happened.
oh yeah.
And anything that might be deemed inappropriate to family members.
Yeah, I think we're over.
Matt, that includes penis jokes and comments about vegetarians.
Now, for those of you who don't know us, we are part of Adam's 2 best man, 3 best man team, Mark and Matt.
Some might say that Adam is an indecisive person for having 3 best men. I mean,
He's nearly got as many best men as he has degrees.
but who are we to judge? Now, we were asked to present this speech today as amongst Adam's friends, we are known for being responsible, mature, stand-up guys who behave appropriately and respectably nearly all the time.
Well, like Simon, the 3rd best man, who Adam was worried would fill a speech full of inappropriate jokes that would embarrass him and Sammy. So we had the pleasure of going to school with Adam, as Adam said. And in all honesty, we're pretty shocked to be here today, aren't we, Mark?
Not that we didn't think Adam would pick us as best man. Oh, look at us. But we weren't sure that Adam would actually ever talk to a girl.
I was giving up hope, honestly.
Talking to girls is not the only adversity that Adam has had to overcome in his life.
Considering his first car journey was in a cardboard box with a footwell of an MG midget, and he's had a full leg cast at the age of 2 from an accidental broken leg. He actually turned out to be quite the sportsman in his younger days.
His career peaked at the age of 11 when he scored the winning goal in the Wildman Cup.
To the envy of his friends.
And he is quite possibly the best badminton player in this room. Now, part of our best man duties was to ensure that Adam got to the wedding and survived his stag do. And he did this just. So as you can see, we're pretty damn good at our jobs. For most of Adam's stag do, he was dressed in random charity clothes.
Most of which Joe Kavanagh took home for his personal wardrobe.
Sadly, we can't divulge any of the stories from the stag do.
But again, let's hear it from Uncle Gareth.
As I said, Matt, we can't divulge any of the stories from the stag do or share any of the pictures unless you go into the toilet.
We found it great to meet Adam's friends and family. In fact, we found them quite a knowledgeable group. Joachim even said that he thought that I was the alpha male and Mark was the sensible one. Shows how much he knows.
But hey, at least we found out that one of the family was in a good band.
No, Adam, we're still not talking about you, we're still talking about Joachim. At this point in the best man speech, it's normal practice to lay into the groom with embarrassing stories. But, in truth, Adam is a top bloke. So much so that we found writing the speech quite difficult.
Adam's never really done anything wrong. He's not been arrested. He's not a drug taker. He maintains a certain degree of maturity while drunk, although Sammy, you might not agree with me on that.
So whilst writing this speech, we both reviewed the high points of Adam's life.
And fell asleep. Now for a few stories about Adam that you may not know.
Or want to know. Adam is known for being a pretty down-to-earth guy.
So while on Duke of Edinburgh in Snowdonia, we had the displeasure of being rained on for well over a day. Now before going, we'd been briefed on the dangers of being cold and wet and how to keep safe. And we were at this point pretty cold, wet and miserable. In fact, Adam wasn't his normal self. He was quiet, he was withdrawn, and as a group of friends, we were worried for him.
So it was a great surprise at lunch when we found Adam running up and down, flapping his coat and screaming. Ah!
Thankfully, we had a doctor in the making on hand who diagnosed hypothermia. And after a hot drink, some jelly babies, lots of warm cuddles, for the Italians in the room,
Cockles.
Barman, do you want a Jaeger bomb?
Adam. No thanks.
Barman, it's 2 for £5.
Adam, I'll have 10. The night ended with Adam crying in the car park because he'd lost his favourite coat.
Turns out he'd never even taken that coat out.
Thanks though to his now brother-in-law Matt for picking him up. They saved him from being mugged.
Like Matt.
Or falling asleep at a bus stop.
Like Joe.
All jokes aside though, I think we can stand here and agree on what a great guy Adam is.
It was mentioned earlier that he's kind, he's generous, he's a really good laugh, and on many a time he's been a great listener to both of us when we've needed someone to talk to.
Over the last few years, he has been a great friend to us both.
And not all our jokes today are to poke fun at Adam. In fact, in year 10, he became a bit of a hero.
As usual, at lunchtime, all of our friends frequented the local village to purchase food. On returning to school, a group of bigger boys from another school had made their way down to an entrance and were vandalising teachers' cars.
As the group were going down the drive, nasty words were said, a few punches were thrown. It caused chaos. Children scattered everywhere. Now, Adam, being the good friend that he is, always ready to offer support, gave refuge to one of his friends who was in fear of his life.
You know who you are.
He looked after this child at his house until his parents could extract him and take him to safety. However, it did concern us a little bit when we found out that our good friend couldn't even give the registrar Sammy's birthday correctly during a pre-wedding meeting.
Pretty sure you'll not make that mistake again. And Sammy's birthday, Adam?
16th December.
What year? God. Every year. Right, what else have we got to talk about, Mark?
Bear with me a second.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did one!
Oh,
Now, if some of you didn't know, Adam is kind of a big deal at Chesterfield Royal. In fact, our good friend is the face of NHS Derbyshire.
You'll find him plastered on every wall in every ward. In fact, he had a front row seat to both of our son's births. He stayed quiet throughout, though.
His wife listened.
That was during the conception, birth and conception. Right, Mark. Are we? Are we done?
No, wait. Girlfriends. Oh, look at Adam. Squirming in his seat.
Right, did you remember the box?
Did I? Hold on.
What is this?
Right, We know that Sammy said that we couldn't talk about Adam's ex-partners, but we thought it'd be rude not to mention a few.
It's heavy, this.
It is, isn't it? So, do you want to get some stories out about Adam's ex-partners and
Why?
have a read? Give it a shake. Give it a shake.
There's nothing in it. Oh, there's something in there. Oh.
Oh, Sammy!
As mentioned earlier, Sammy and Adam met at the Moorlands Carvery in Sheffield. Adam was a chef.
Mark, I'm pretty sure he just put things in the microwave.
And Sammy a waitress. And it was around this time that Sammy first got a taste for Adam's cherries.
How Adam actually lured Sammy in, no one knows, but with Sammy being a vegetarian, we all know it wasn't the size of his sausage that sealed the deal. So that concludes today's public humiliation of the group.
But long may it continue. Adam is more than ready for married life, and we both know, on a serious note, that he's been excited for this day for a really long time, and he could not have chosen a better person to share this day with. Parents always hope that their daughter chooses somebody who is reliable, sensible, considerate partner, and that she makes the right choices in her life. You think there's a gag coming, don't you?
Sammy chose Adam, who, in our opinion, is the ideal choice, and a real credit to his parents, Alan and Erica. Sammy, you look amazing today, and I'm sure everyone agrees what a fantastic couple you two are. So, to Adam and Sammy, may your life be filled with happiness, a bit more happiness,
then probably some grumpiness, bit of squabbling, we speak from experience, and maybe a large barbecue and home brewing setup as well.
But before we raise our glasses in toast, we'd first like you all to put your hands in this position.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And if you can grab a glass as well.
Come on, Adam.
In the other hand.
Everybody needs to have a hand in that position.
We call this Adam's drunk hand.
Now, if you look out for Adam later on, after he's had a few drinks, you will almost definitely see him stood, maybe on his own, in a quiet corner, with his hand in this position. So, to Mr. and Mrs. Jones.